I love Adventure Time. Fun and seeing it. Welcome, everybody, to the VCT Game Changers Academy, sponsored by Verizon and AIM Labs. We're heading to playoffs. We have 8 teams that have passed on, and some of them are going to be battling. Of course, only one will survive. I have a knack for drama, I know. Anyways, I'm Gompers, and today I'm joined here by the lovely Dr. Delta and JoJo. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great. If today is anything like yesterday, I'm just so hyped for it. Yesterday's games were just so close, and I'm excited to see which teams are going to end up on top.
Absolutely. Every single time with Game Changers Academy, we start all the action in the group stage, and oftentimes there's some crazy plays that happen. There's some close matches, and then all of that hype just gets expanded as we head into the playoffs, which will continue from today into tomorrow. So, just like you, Delta, I'm very, very excited to be here and to watch some exciting games in our top 8 and later today in the semis.
Yeah, and I'm excited to watch some games as well. Listen, even though I won't be casting it, I'll be right behind with you guys, just listening along. But JoJo, of course, everybody has to know what is even going to go on with the tournament formatting in order to understand. Oh, okay, well, yeah, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So yesterday, as I said, we did have our group stages. So there was groups A through D, and it was sort of round robin. Everyone played each other, and then based on those standings, the top 2 from each group were able to make it into the top 8 today. So starting off our day, we are going to have 4 concurrent matches going on to narrow it down into our top 4 teams, and then both of those 2 semifinal matches will be streamed right here on this channel later today before finding out who are going to be the top 2 teams making it into finals, which will be streamed tomorrow. So basically, just kind of running through the course, our top 8 are going to be playing today. There's going to be one stream, and then semifinals later today.
Yeah, and of course, if you weren't even here yesterday to be able to watch Groups Delta, there were really fun matchups that we saw. Of course, we heard some interesting news as well regarding Dart Monkeys.
Yeah, just so many close games, so many even upsets, I would say. I know that yesterday we talked a lot about the potential of dark horses in the game, where teams that we hadn't really heard from, teams that just got put together, are still trying to explore things and work things out, were able to take some rounds and even take the map off of more well-known teams. So you brought up Dart Monkeys. So Dart Monkeys is the favorites of Game Changers Academy for this series, and they were the finalists in February. They won in March. They also were able to make the playoffs for Game Changers. So basically, one of the top 8 teams in the scene. But they got a map taken off them. So a team called Randos was exactly that, a group of randoms playing together. But don't let that fool you. They're a team of really skilled players. You might recognize a few, some of previous members of Polaris, which also has performed well in Game Changers Academy. And so this group of randoms were able to take a map off of Dart Monkeys and make it themselves into the playoffs.
Yeah, and of course, we do have Dart Monkeys able to make it to the playoffs, even though they do miss that one map. But within the top 8, JoJo, who are we going to see here?
Yeah, so the top 8 today, our first matchup is Randos versus FXP Blue. And Delta mentioned a little bit about Randos. Definitely the favorite coming in there. They went 3-0 in the group stages, one of only two teams who made it into the playoffs with that 3-0 score line. The second match is the one that is kind of could go either way. Team Mystic Venus and Def Not SRN. I think the other team that went 3-0 is Team Mystic Venus, but it was very, very close between Def Not SRN getting that 2-1 or that 3-0, and it just came down to a few rounds. So that's going to be a very competitive matchup. Our third one is Dart Monkeys versus Final Form. And even though Dart Monkeys did drop that one map, they might have gotten better seeding in this top 8 because of it, because Final Form also went 2-1 and they nearly missed out on playoffs. Their round differential actually brought them here. So maybe actually have advantage to making it into semifinals because of that one map that they ended up dropping. And lastly, our streamed match today, the one that we are going to show you very, very soon, is Revive Me Jet versus Tactical Throwers. Both of these two teams fought hard yesterday, and both of them ended up going 2-1. So it's definitely going to be very competitive. Their maps yesterday showed how strong both of these teams are, and anything that they might have lost a little bit on yesterday, hopefully they've worked on and are going to come in today with a new set of eyes.
I mean, probably, right? Both of these teams both have that 2-1 score line that they had in groups. So you can kind of come to that assumption that, yeah, there was that one team that took it away from them, but they're still coming on pretty strong. But Delta, this matchup in particular, right? Are there any agents? Are there any members of the team that might actually catch your eye here?
So, if you all tuned in yesterday, we saw an amazing game between Revive Me, Jet, and Final Form. It was so close. It came down to literally just the diffuse at the end.
Mhm.
So, I am expecting an amazing game from Revive Me, Jet. We're going to say the name IC plenty of times, I'm sure. They are a cracked out Jet player and have just rounded out this squad of previously. So NMG Celeste, there's three members from that team on this squad, and then rounding it out with IC and another member, Brain Blast. So we were initially thinking, well, this is not the typical squad. Maybe they're going to struggle with just coordination and strats and things like that. But no, this team was ready and roaring to go like a well rehearsed team. On the other side, Tactical Throwers, a team we also really haven't heard from before. They did compete in Sakura Cup, but Tactical Throwers, honestly, we didn't expect them to be here. We thought Team Opulence Black from that group would have made it through because they were the quote unquote dark horse of this series. They
Mhm.
placed third in the Sakura Cup, even though we hadn't really heard much from them. But Tactical Throwers, like JoJo said, played amazingly yesterday and were able to make their way through the group stages.
Yeah, I mean, exactly as you mentioned, Delta, kind of a surprising top 8 matchup overall. Revive Me Jet in that very difficult group, but able to escape it. They actually, I believe, one of their score lines in the group stages was 13-4. So that just shows you how much they do actually deserve to be here. They just, maybe got a little unlucky with the seeding, but now they're actually going to be able to prove themselves in this playoff sequence to see how far they can make it as a relatively new lineup. As you mentioned, Delta, lots of old players who have that synergy, who have worked together before, and those two additional members just adding to their power in this Game Changers Academy. But on the other side, Tactical Throwers, they had some very, very close score lines. Almost every score line, their opponents got above 7, and there was one that was really close, 11-13. So it's a little bit sketchy to see how they're going to perform today. Um, they have had plenty of time to work on some of those issues that they've had in the past. And now knowing how Revive Me Jet has performed in the group stages, they're going to have a little bit more awareness of which maps to ban, which maps to pick, which maps that they are going to have advantage on. So, with that history from yesterday, both of these teams are going to be able to analyze each other and kind of play off of that a little bit. Some would argue that that doesn't matter as much, but most of Valorant is a mental game anyway, so we shall see.
Yeah, but we also have to go over to the map picks and bans in order to see what exactly is going to happen with these maps. You know, whether or not they did choose or pick comfortable maps or just kind of strategically. But Jojo, looking at the map picks and bans, what catches your eye?
I mean, instantly that ban of split. I mean, tactical throwers knew that Revive Me Jet went 13-4 on split, crushing their opponents in that group stage. They banned it right off the bat, and I think that was a brilliant move.
Okay, I mean, I have to agree. Yeah, like you're looking at that technical side, and they have it. They have it. They're trying to at least eliminate some of those maps, and I mean, very good point there. But Delta, if there is one thing, you know that you would expect coming out from any of these members, especially on these maps, you know, we saw the games yesterday. We saw what we could expect, but Haven, what in particular for this first map are you looking forward to seeing?
Haven, I'm just looking forward to seeing what these two teams have. Remember, they are still relatively new. We don't know too much about them. Really, what we do know is what we saw on Breeze yesterday and how close that game was between Revive Me Jet and Final Form. So if Revive Me Jet play anything like they did yesterday on Breeze, uh, tactical throwers are going to have to make sure they win map one.
Yeah, but I do, most likely have to send you off eventually to the Agent Select. So, guys, coming up here, we might just be able to see soon and shortly what is going to happen. What exactly are the selections that we're going to be seeing on Haven? But Sova, pretty much a given, right? I feel like Sova has grown within the Haven gameplay, especially if you can play Sova well. It's always been the meta. There's never been a moment where Sova hasn't been there. So coming up into this Agent Select, we might just be able to see Delta. What's going on here?
Well, looks like we already have some picks in play. Fad is on the chamber. Watch out, y'all. Like that player on chamber is a force to be reckoned with. We talked a lot about Icy on the Jett, so that seems to be the pick as well. Between chamber and Jett, those two, how they worked together was quite impressive. So uh, looks like they're going to attempt the same thing on Haven.
Yeah, just as you said, kind of an interesting play though for Brain Blast to be bringing out the Astra, just because Astra has kind of had a slow entrance back into the meta after a bunch of changes to Omen, to Viper, to Brimstone. But we're gonna see her here, and yeah, let's see how Brain Blast is gonna deal with an agent that maybe they haven't played in a while.
Okay, yeah, and I'm excited to see it. Good luck, guys.
You know, the other pick we didn't mention is there is a Yoru on the board.
I
I'm
don't
always
know.
just used to that being a troll pick, and so the last minute they switched, but they didn't switch off. So we're gonna see some Yoru shenanigans on maybe they got inspired from what we saw in Masters. Yoru doing quite well, even Neon doing quite well. So the experiment is abound.
Yes. And between the Yoru working with that Jett, I don't know if I've seen that duelist composition together before. But
No.
again, kind of making their way into the meta. Fad going to be the first line of defense here, misses the first headhunter and has to TP out of there. Now this entire site does belong to tactical throwers. That spike gonna be planted very, very quickly. And what a take! The aggression already prominent from tactical throwers, and Revive Me Jet faced with a 5v5 retake early on.
Trailblazer in to try to get some eyes on sight, but it was taken out real quick.
I see dashing on and trades going left and right. So many bodies are falling, and Zoe! What is that? Getting the headshot with the frenzy? I am absolutely astounded.
Okay, they aren't playing around. I always get a little scared when teams decide to go with the frenzy for that first pick, you know, rather than the classic pick. So frenzy's dangerous on the squad. Note taken.
Absolutely, and now we are gonna see some more guns that spray. Zoe has upgraded to that Spectre, and just one Marshall in the hands of Icy, but as the Jett player, they should be good with that.
Oh, so good. Icy and Marshall, very dangerous.
Switching up the tactics here, pushing directly onto A site. Satyr again dashing onto site. Seems like the Jett staple to grab as much space as possible early on. Spike planted again this early, forcing REBIBE Jett into yet another 5v5 retake. The only player who's a little bit low is Yoja on site. 20 HP there, but Zoe gonna take this first fight, and the headshot does come through. The second headshot, how many more can she get swinging around this angle? Icy's Marshall shot does not connect. There's just one player left, and the Marshall has no match with 1v1 battles that close.
Okay, well, I was gonna say we should be a little worried about Kaya on the Bulldog, but Zoe just seemed to do quite enough work with Spectre easy. So they're able to keep that Bulldog into the next round, and they were able to convert that pistol round. So now on their bonus, we do have REBIBE Jett now buying up to their rifles. They are posted on the A site, so gonna take a peek and see if anyone's there, but everyone's at B.
Everyone is at B. This is the third site that they've hit in as many rounds, and now there is some utility being placed here to try and stop this push, but Satyr already on site, gonna be planning this. Dashes away from Fad's spray, and in fact, Fad is the one who goes down to the shorty. Just 2 members left from REBIBE Jett. They are making a little bit of something work, but that spike still hasn't been planted. And you know it is Tactical Thrower's wish to plant that spike as fast as possible. Finally, it is going to be planted over on C, but it's still 2v3 retake disadvantage to REBIBE Jett.
Drone going out in garage, going to spot out the sky. So Clutch not able to push in completely, and they do have her on lock.
Here we go, the spray down does not come in clutch for Clutch, but Icy able to get down Yoja, and there's just 2 members left from Tactical Throwers. 8 bullets in the chamber, and the double hold was not going to let that happen. Third round to Tactical Throwers.
Okay, Tactical Throwers able to win that round. That's devastating for REBIBE Jett economy. And it's great. Tactical Throwers are understanding how aggressive this team is. REBIBE Jett is known to push out on the defense, whether it be a save round, whether it be a gun round. They just tend to push, and Tactical Throwers has been responding in kind. So this time around, knowing it's going to be a save round, they are full sending on the C site, while REBIBE tries to gamble on the A site.
And it is those opposite sites that look so funny on the mini-map, but if you are one of these players, you just can't really predict which site that the attackers are going to hit, but C site has worked for 2 times so far, and potentially a 3rd time right here, right now, as Yoja wants to hold out this garage angle, and Fad trying to find an entrance onto site.
Yeah, not afraid to end up on the C site. REBIBE Jett trying to do this retake, getting some information with the flash, but not enough. Time is ticking.
Oh, and the dash onto site from Icy has the Blade Storm available, takes down one, but the double swing makes it impossible to get any more. And now Brain Blast from CT, the wall bang with the Sheriff. Insane play there, and now the reload is going to be the death. At that point, wow, it felt very, very close. Unlucky for a few of those last remaining members on REBIBE Jett.
Okay, I mean, that round was to be expected. Tactical Throwers did have the weapons advantage, but they made that attack quite smooth. And we've talked before about how this is a relatively new squad, but they seem to be well coordinated with these attacks. You can see this team's not even afraid to enter the B site. That tends to be the least favorite site because, you know, it's just difficult to hold the site, but they're not afraid to do it.
It is going to be a default play coming out from Tactical Throwers. GG immediately pulling out Hunter's Fury, trying to get some early information or damage, but nothing is going to be capitalized over on that A site. And instead, all of the presence yet again on C. Fad shooting down that turret with the tour de force. That's one bullet down. And now the presence is known over here on C, but is that going to stop the spike from being planted?
Yoru already doing their work trying to get that dimensional drift on the site, made it so easy to get to the C site. And again, time is ticking. The retake is going awfully slow.
There we go, Zoe with that opening pick onto Icy, and Zoe holding this down. Fad's tour de force finally gonna bring her down and out, but Brain Blast continuing to try and spray through that back site location. It's always come down to the spike just continuing to tick down and down and down, and now the call for the save has been made by Revive Me Jett. This is not looking good for them at all. They're going to be able to bring those two guns into the next round, but 5-0. Oh, man.
No, like, just kick them while they're down. Yeah, I would need a timeout after that, too. My goodness. Tactical Throwers, the word tactical is how I would describe this team. They are just so well coordinated. You see even their just positional awareness on the map for the rotates. Kaya was keeping an eye on Garage for the retake and were able to basically get up behind them and stop the retake. So I am liking what I'm seeing from Tactical Throwers. Revive Me Jett, though, I don't know. They're known for their aggression. We saw that yesterday. And when they're able to put Icy in a great position, they're able to get the picks and make the plays just that much more difficult to come across. So I don't know. They're gonna have to change something up to be able to put Icy in a position to perform.
I do agree. I feel like they are attempting to play retake far too often, and the aggression from Tactical Throwers, plus the easy post plant that they have had time and time again. Revive Me Jett maybe just needs to invest more utility to stopping that initial aggression, to getting players to rotate over quickly enough, and not continue to go for these retake attempts.
Yeah, just try and get as many picks as possible. But you can see Revive Me Jett already with the aggression mid through B, but Tactical Throwers ending up on the A side.
That full push towards A is going to be played yet again. Icy immediately trying to flank here, and the turret is going to spot it out. Now another 5v5 retake, something we did not want to see, and Kaya is holding this angle, did not get checked at all, and capitalizes with those two incoming headshots. Spike, yet again, going to be ticking down, just waiting for Revive Me Jett to change something, to do something, and retake the site, which is already asking a lot. Look at the positions of Tactical Throwers. They are ready for every angle. Oh, that first pick from Fad. Two more, though, coming in lane there. Oh, man. It was a good try from Fad, but I think the time pressure is too much for Revive Me Jett to handle.
You're exactly right. Yesterday we saw from Fad just multiple kills, multiple 4Ks even coming out, and able to clutch rounds like that. But like you said, the time has just been ticking. These retakes have been moving a little slow, and the pressure to perform and to clear out all the angles and get all the kills needed to win the round is that much more difficult. So this time around, another gamble stack in the opposite direction.
That stack over on A, just it's played so often by Tactical Throwers. I don't know why Revive Me Jett has decided that they're not going to play it again, considering how well it has been working. But now that full retake from Revive Me Jett gonna come over. Spike has not been planted, but is currently getting planted now, and maybe this retake is gonna finally be the one round Revive Me Jett need on defense to make this happen.
Okay, at least the wall is up, making it difficult to see, but still not having their hands on the spike.
Lockdown has been used, does not grab anybody with it, and GG trying to push on from backside. Not enough util to make this work. Could not connect those first bullets, and Brain Blast left all alone. Poor Brain Blast. Backside, and 7th round goes to Tactical Throwers. I mean, how are these players mental at this point?
At least for me, I would be a little tilted at this point. That retake, their approach was good. So we saw early rotates, even though that gamble stack initially didn't work. The Astral Wall was up to keep players out of the sight. But unfortunately, Tactical Throwers were still able to get the picks needed to just make that retake crumble. So Tactical Throwers up 7 and another stack towards C, but this time at least 3 members waiting for them.
And there we go. The initial shot from Icy does not connect with anyone, and now Satyr going to be continuing to push into back sight. Yeah, bodies are just falling left and right for Revive Me Jett. Tactical Throwers still has all 5 members up and running for this post-plant hold. All angles have been smoked off, and there's not really much Revive Me Jett can do. Maybe they could invest some ultimates into this round, but it's really, yeah, I mean, after that one, and Satyr coming off with a 3K there, joined by Zoe. It is the duelists who are making this hard for Revive Me Jett.
So hard. You know, it's funny, when they revamped Yoru, I was thinking with that flash, like, who's gonna shoot a straight moving like flash? You know, it looks really, you know, fake. But when you're in the heat of the moment and you're just waiting for someone to come through the smoke, you're gonna shoot it. So that has been a problem. You saw that basically the flash was almost shot at. So these duelists are proving to be difficult to deal with.
Icy already having to back up off of that aggression. That is not what you want to see from a duelist. And now this full rotate looks like from Tactical Throwers over to A. I think I know what their favorite site may be, Delta. It's going to be an A hit again. And Fad on site to try and hold it down through the rendezvous, just in case the aggression becomes too much. But this time, Q-Lutch with that initial pick. This is a different team. Revive Me Jett making things happen. 3 down, 2 to go. Could this be the round that they have been looking for? Oh my gosh, just 1 left. It is Kaya. Has a little bit of utility left. The turret can maybe save her life for a few more seconds, but she needs these headshots, and it was just a little bit too far to the right. Brain Blast ending that last round, and finally we see the Revive Me Jett we know and love.
Yeah, 1 point on the board, signs of life. And it looked like the approach they took worked. So they had the trademark available to slow that push down. The Seekers came out to also do a little bit of damage. And that helped them to get the picks they needed for that last round win. So Tactical Throwers, though, looking still comfortable at the moment. Gonna do things a little bit split as we see some of them going towards window and some of them posted out of C to try to counter that aggression that Revive Me Jett is known for.
I think this is most definitely playing to their strengths. They know that at this point, they have been able to get those headshots more often, except for Fad coming in with the tour de force, holding a very aggressive angle, and clearly Zoe was not expecting it whatsoever, but that does indicate that the rotate gonna be coming away from that tour de force and all the way over to C. Juna droning down long, gaining some information. I don't know if Icy was actually spotted in this smoke. Definitely ensures that she was not. Oh, and the spray down with the headshot just before falling. This is more even than we've ever seen it. Kea yet again, the last one alive. One small piece of utility, and here's that someone is on site.
Oh no.
Headshot does come through. 36 HP versus 150. I don't know.
But Fad has been known to clutch. We saw it yesterday. It's totally possible.
And has the tour de force in hand. So if we can get a quick scope here, Kea not able to swing around that angle in time. Fad picking up that Phantom, choosing to use it over the tour de force is definitely a smart move when you know you're going to be taking a close fight.
Okay, more signs of life from Revive Me Jet. They're being revived as we speak.
Oh
So
gosh.
Fad was able to get at that initial pick on Zoe. That helped, you know, with Zoe just being the duelist that they have been able to roll onto site. So it slowed down the tactical throwers that much more. And then from there, those initial picks have just, that's what's going to help them continue to win these rounds. Putting Fad and Icy in a position, taking deep angles, able to get 1 or 2 picks, especially if you can get the key players like Zoe, like Kaya off the board.
And it almost feels like both Fad and Icy had a little bit of a slow start, and maybe that is why they allowed 8 rounds to just kind of get away from them. But at this point, I am seeing that they have a little bit more team synergy. They're a little bit more comfortable working together, and it is the first game of the day for these two teams. So this is definitely not going to be decisive of the next map or even the rest of this one.
Yeah, you're right. Just gotta warm up for the day, get those jitters out. And if Icy is warmed up, I would be terrified if I were on the other team. So this time, tactical throwers seeming to be posted outside the C site. But again, 3 members of Revive Me Jet waiting for them.
And it does look like it's going to be a little bit more slow. Icy has this operator this time, so the first one to peek through long.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
gonna say they're not gonna be too lucky, and oh, the operator shot does not connect. Bladestorm is yanked out, but the site is too much smoked off for anything to be seen. Q-Lutch finally making her presence known from backside, gaining those 2 headshots. It is down to a 3v3. Another spray down from Q-Lutch.
No shot.
Wait a minute, what?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, no, everyone is looking up. Like, at this point, that was amazing from Clutch trying to get that ace to save the round. I was a little worried when Icy didn't get those initial picks. And how brave were they to push the smoke initially? Talk about deep angles. But wow, Clutch at the end definitely came to clutch things up. So we're at the last round of the half. Clutch looking to, oh, I thought they were going to put the Seekers out, but definitely pushing for as far as possible since tactical throwers seem to be a bit more passive these last few rounds.
Oh, and that blinding light was brilliant. Icy swinging around just in time to get that pick onto Juna, and now there is no info to be had for tactical throwers. They do not know that Fad is wrapping around that corner. Rendezvous saving her life. And Brain Blast spraying through the smoke just a little bit too far to the left. Satyr, last one alive, has the spike in hand, but now there's all this utility being thrown out. Hunter's Fury wasn't able to get that kill, but it was Icy yet again pushing through, securing the headshot, and now that's not the worst kind of round to have be your last of the half, and now we're gonna come into a whole new world.
It is a new world. Everyone seems to be up at the moment. Fad and Icy doing what we saw yesterday, just these amazing plays, multiple kills. We saw an ace even coming from Clutch. Worried about them because they were 8 rounds went through before we saw the first point on the board. So this momentum, though, that Revive Me Jet has just now. Hopefully we'll go into them winning the pistol and maybe converting that as well, bringing the scoreline a little closer.
This is a split hit over on A as well as mid. Icy's position seems like it has been noted, and the initial shock dart does not get anything, but that angle, A short, gonna be held by 3 members of Tactical Throwers who are on site at this point, and a great read from Revive Me Jett to completely abandon the A idea. They're going to try and make some noise over on C. The spike still has not rotated fully over, but who has rotated fully over? It is Tactical Throwers. They are falling for this, and just as they leave A site, look at this, the spike making its way on.
Yeah, and clean entry, despite going down, so they are getting the sense that things are amiss. Yoja at least able to get that first pick, making this retake just a little easier.
Spike has been planted. It's going to be a 5v4 retake advantage, the Tactical Throwers, for this retake. And all of that information that GG was just then able to grab, all of these members of Tactical Throwers are there. No one is flanking them, and oh my gosh, what is this? Clutch again in a position where they need to get 5 kills to win the round. 16 HP is not going to be enough for this. The spike just going to be held for the defuse, and that is not a great start for Revive Me Jett.
Yeah, it's a little difficult to overcome just a spam of pistols into the smoke, but a valiant attempt nonetheless. It was interesting. So we saw Revive Me Jett execute a really good fake. All that noise in garage, investing all of that utility, did pull some members off of A, making that plant easier. So it looks like they're a bit mobile, and maybe that can be taken advantage of for the next few rounds.
Looks like a very fast mid hit. Clutch already coming out here with the Trailblazer spots that there is a turret here, and Kaya holding from garage window, seeing if they are going to be able to catch anyone off guard. There you go with the molly. No one is hiding in that corner, and in fact, look at Seaside. It's basically fully open. Yet again, Tactical Throwers is going to be playing for the retake. So yeah, an easy walk on for Clutch, trying to hold that back angle as GG plans, but the spike will be planted. That's at least a little bit of money in the bank account for Revive Me Jett. Now we have to see, have they learned anything from their previous post plan that did not go too well?
I see a gate crash just on the Seaside. It's scaring me a little bit.
You know what's scaring me is Icy's headshots. I mean, finally shut down by Zoe, but those were very, very clean. Now just down to a 2v1. Satyr has to get onto site and has to stick this defuse. It's going to be way too much to ask. Finally, Revive Me Jett winning a attack round that is not, you know, the last 4 rounds of the half. They are not going to let this one get too far away. And a 4-round difference. It's not crazy.
No, it's not. It's showing that sign of life that we saw earlier, being able to stop the typical conversion of winning after the pistol round. So with that advantage, now they're able to buy up. We see a couple Spectres and we see rifles on the board as well, while Tactical Throwers are down on their pistol. So Revive Me Jett full sending towards A with that weapon.
Here we go. The share of shots not connecting for Satyr and Icy, winning that duel with the Phantom. But there are 2 more members of Tactical Throwers on site.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, Icy, so brave to just continue with the pressure, continue pushing out and getting these kills. Zoe, the last one.
No.
Oh. I think Fad was doing the cha-cha slide there, just, you know, vibing out, but it didn't matter. Their team was ready to come in and get that 6th round on the board.
Yeah, just like, I need a head to shoot. Well, Revive Me Jett were able to convert that next round and take advantage of their weapons advantage, so continuing to continue buying up as well. I love how aggressive they were that round. Icy again being the star, able almost able to get like 4 kills at that point, but trying the A site once again.
Blinding Light does come out, blinds out Satyr, and Satyr backing up just in time, doing a little bit of chip damage actually to Icy. And this A short location held down by 2, make that 1 as Icy gets the initial pick onto Satyr. Now Juna's location still has not been given away, but it doesn't matter because it looks like we're gonna get a backup from Revive Me Jett. Fad maybe making the call that B site looks perfectly free.
Yeah, tactical throwers are being very patient. You would think with Icy blowing through A that could be the play, but they didn't move, and so they're still in a tactical position to fight at B.
And the spike gonna try and be stuck by Icy. It is still a 4v4, so anything can happen. That pick onto GG is gonna eliminate again all of that information. Blinding Light does come out. Kea not too scared of it, but still does not really want to swing out into mid. That is where the majority of the attackers are hiding. And here we go. The spray down. This is looking great from Tactical Throwers. It was a very, very clean retake. Very, very impressive. And now, look at this. We're going to have a double-digit score line for Tactical Throwers.
Yeah, I mean, I applaud Revive Me Jett. So Fad did see that B was clear, probably a good site to plant, but it's just so difficult to hold that site. So things going by the way of Tactical Throwers. This time around, we do see, interesting, a judge coming out from Satyr. I'm a little scared. Oh, okay, they changed their mind. I was looking forward to seeing some interesting judge plays since most of the members of Revive Me Jett are headed out on C. That could have been spelled trouble.
As soon as you hit 10 rounds, it's a mental game, right? And you can just see that finish line. We've got the Seekers coming out, but if I were Tactical Throwers, I would not be scared at all. They're going to continue holding out this backside, and Icy taking down Zoe, and lots of kills happening in this backside location, but not enough to give a strong advantage to either team. We've got a 4v3 advantage to Revive Me Jett, and oh no! Yoja shooting down that turret as well as getting a kill. This long location where at least Brain Blast is holding. Yep, I knew that was coming. I knew Orbital Strike was coming, and the spray down from KF finishing it up, giving another defuse win to Tactical Throwers.
That was a beautiful retake. The approach was great too. Icy again, just blazing through the Seekers as well as the darts to push everyone back. But then the lockdown came out, and that was just enough to be able to push everyone back. They were able to get their hands on the spike and defuse it from there. Oh, in addition to the orbital strike. So that was played beautifully from Tactical Throwers, to the point where Revive Me Jett are wanting to slow down that momentum, wanting to make sure that lead doesn't stretch any further than it needs to. So I think a timeout is well called here.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think as soon as, I mean, even at 10 and now we're at 11, this is danger zone territory for Revive Me Jett. They were very disadvantaged coming into the second half, and I'm sure that they had hoped to win the pistol, win the second round, and then just kind of continue from there. But all of the defuse wins from Tactical Throwers, yeah, they are defuse wins on defense. And so Revive Me Jett maybe needs to work a little bit more on their post plan, and looking at that information from the scoreboard should let them know that that is one of their weaker areas.
You're exactly right. Tactical Throwers have been a little bit better with the retakes than we saw with Revive Me Jett on the first half. And so if Revive Me Jett can get initial picks, making the retake a little more difficult, hopefully they'll be able to secure that spike once it's down.
Trailblazer immediately coming out in garage again by Clutch, spotting tons of KJ utility. And Fad, yet again, looking over towards B. Didn't work out great the previous time, but Satyr opening up with that initial pick onto Clutch, and Fad getting a pick onto Kea as well as what they were looking for on this site. But I don't know if they really want to plant here again. Looks like they just have a great outpost, at least. Fad holding one site, holding one angle. And
Oh no.
yeah, Hunter's Fury is going to be pulled out here. Just scaring a little bit, not doing tons of damage. But down to a 3v3, Spike has been planted. This retake was brilliant from Tactical Throwers previously. Can they repeat it? Oh, what the heck? The Tour de Force, brilliant ability, brilliant ultimate, and now GG again, forced offside. I don't know if they got half there. They did not get half. Very, very lucky for GG.
No.
8 bullets in the chamber, and that little bit of utility placed perfectly for GG to secure the 3K.
That was so beautiful, being able to get the position of the spike, able to get that initial pick, and then the dart, just able to get the kill through the smoke. That was beautifully done from GG. I was a little worried because I was going to say Tactical Throwers, that retake was also quite beautiful as well, with the dimensional drift trying to get some information, the Hunter's Fury to try to slow down the spike, but Revive Me Jett still in this game.
It does seem like Revive Me Jett taking a page out of Tactical Throwers' attacking book.
Oh no.
As they make their way down to A. Icy grabbing Satyr with that dash and now continuing to push on to site. This seems like it's going to be a very, very easy plant, but as mentioned previously, the area where Revive Me Jett struggle is that post plant. Junifor making it even harder, getting that first pick onto Brain Blast, starting this retake attempt, and now the drone has to see at least 2 players there to make this even more possible. Zoe waiting to push on, and the first pick does come out. Down to a 2v1. It's just Fad on site, and the retake brilliant again from Tactical Throwers. The post plant turning into shambles early on for Revive Me Jett.
Like you said, brilliant retake. The flash was so damaging. They were able to get onto site beautifully to the point where we are at match point. Signs of life have been shown at various places throughout the series from Revive Me Jett. So I'm not throwing in the towel just yet for them, but it's gonna be a significant crawl back. So we see Brain Blast having a Guardian on them. They don't really have many ultimates to play with other than the Hunter's Fury. So it's gonna be a difficult round to stay in this map.
Just one player over on C who's trying to hold it down. That is gonna be Zoe, killing off the drone, but that still gives a ton of information to Revive Me Jett about who is on site, who is ready to stop this push. And Icy already gaining so much space. Garage is fully claimed, as well as C site. The spike gonna be planted in about 2 seconds here, and it's another post plant try from Revive Me Jett, and Icy getting those first 2 picks. A 3v5 is a big advantage to Revive Me Jett to try and hold this one down. But with those 2 kills back and forth, we are now at equal again. This could go either way.
No
Icy,
way.
a 4K.
No.
10 AP wasn't enough.
Wow. Okay. Revive Me Jett. See, you can't count them out. They were able to push so far into spawn. The Tactical Throwers couldn't even respawn, which that's exactly what needs to be done. Tactical Throwers have been great with the retakes, but if you catch them out before they can even set up, that's how they're going to stay in this map. And again, Icy just being let loose already with 22 kills on the board and a Blade Storm on already prepped. There's a fighting chance.
Clutch opening up with the blinding light. does not catch anyone, but this mid-aggression is not anything new. Tactical throwers should know what is coming, and again, it is Zoe over here on this seaside in garage, hearing all of this noise being made, and now the members of Revive Me Jet walking onto a completely free and open C site. Oh, Zoe could not get that opening pick, and Icy has just been a thorn in the side of tactical throwers time and time again. That pick could have been massive, but this time it's down to 2.
Oh.
What is going on? Satyr almost making it happen. 1 bullet in the chamber. It's going to be Icy. Low HP.
No.
The headshot comes through. 19 HP.
Oh my gosh.
She's almost there, Delta.
Oh my gosh, 47. We were almost going to be done with map 1, but for 47. And I know they're good for it, so wow, I'm sweating. This map is just so close. Icy again, just continuing to rack up the kills. Impressive with each kill, so much value, keeping them in this game. And it's going to be a struggle again, but they're good for it. We do have 2 ultimates on the way. If they're able to get some initial picks, they can get the Seekers to get on site, the wall to make it a little bit easier to push onto site. So things are looking up.
It's like when you've got an assignment due at midnight and it's 11 p.m. That's what it feels like, right? 5v Jet are finally putting in the effort, trying to run it down, and sometimes that 11:59 timeline just comes a little bit faster than you thought. With that initial pick on to Clutch, it's gonna make bringing this to 12-12 even more difficult, especially with all of this utility that Tactical Thrower still has in their back pockets. The spike gonna continue to lurk up onto A. Just 1 player in heaven holding that one down. So if they can get the initial pick and the spike planted quickly, could be looking good for them. Fad taking a little bit of chip damage on B. And that rotate, that's actually going to signal rotate for them. I'm shocked by this.
Oh, and Icy able to take off Satyr, another heavy hitter. This retake is going to be difficult for them.
Here we go. Orbital Strike does come out. Cannot stop the plant, but does a decent amount of damage there, as you saw. Hunter's Fury again.
Oh, 2? What?
Wait a minute. Judah, knowing exactly where they were, that prediction was absolutely brilliant. 4v1, GG is the last player standing to keep them in this, and Zoe spotted her out. All of this utility I don't think is going to be enough. The spike going to be stuck, and there you go. Sova utility not enough to hold it down. Delta, what a game.
That was an amazing game. It's amazing that Tactical Throwers were able to neutralize. Well, okay, neutralize is a strong word because Icy's still at the top of the leaderboard with 25 kills. But nonetheless, able to neutralize Icy and Fad and able to clutch out that win. That was such an amazing map from Tactical Throwers.
It did seem so close. I know you were probably thinking what I was thinking in that first half. There is no possible way that Revive Me Jet has any hope of coming back from this, but I was proven wrong. They showed more fight in that second half, and I am honestly just going to attribute that to this being their first game of the day. They're getting used to playing against a completely new team that maybe they haven't had experience playing in the past, and I'm not going to count them out whatsoever from the next map or even that third map coming up. It is going to be a struggle, as you said, for Revive Me Jet because they need to win the next 2 maps if they have the hope of going into semifinals.
Yeah, well, stay tuned because you're going to see an exciting second map right after this break.
I got enough of every melody, they all sound the same.